Okay. So we're starting this new kind of a new theme, which is going to tie back to our old theme, but this is a new theme, and the theme is about the kruvim. So he says first in the beginning of Perek Ches, he brings a Gemara in Baba Basra, which has a Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Lozer. Okay, Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Lozer, where he says that one Mandomer says that Kruvim were facing one another. The other Kruvim are the cherubim katori were on top of the Aron, of the Aron Kodesh, in the Holy of Holies, right? Okay. There were these winged cherubim.
Okay.
Right? So one Mandomer says that they faced each other. The other Mandomer says that they faced towards the Holy of Holies, meaning eastward. Okay?
So which one is more accurate?
So it's a machlokes. So they asked, according to the Mandomer that says they faced each other, and in different pasuk it says they faced the Holy of Holies. So he says, because it goes like this: when Jews do the will of Hashem, they face each other. That's the original intent. That's how it was supposed to be. They were a miraculous thing. But when Jews did not do the will of Hashem, then they turned from each other and they faced the Holy of Holies. But they turned away from each other. That's one opinion. Second opinion says, so then let's go on the second opinion. Second opinion, you say that they faced the Holy of Holies, right? How come in the pasuk it says they faced each other? Right? So that Mandomer says they were kind of facing both at the same time. They were sort of mitzadet yad zdudi, meaning they were kind of facing each other and also facing the house at the same time. Okay? So those are the two opinions. So one opinion is that they changed, sometimes this way, sometimes that way. And the other opinion, no, they were stationary. They were facing both each other and the Holy of Holies at the same time. Good?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's the Gemara.
Like that.
It must have been like this, not like this, because then they were not facing the house. It must have been they were both facing kind of like this. Okay? So that's the Gemara. Okay? So the Nefesh HaChaim is asking, according to that opinion, that he holds that they were facing slightly sideways, right, and each other and the Holy of Holies at the same time. He wants to know why would that be? Why would Hashem set it up that way, right? It would seem that that's not, the first opinion makes more sense. In the first opinion, he's saying they're facing each other. That's a symbol that Hashem and the Jewish people, right? Each Kruv represented Hashem, the other represented the Jewish people, so they should face each other. Why would we set them up in a way that they're not facing each other a little bit? What's the point of that? It would seem like it's a little bit like a criticism of the Jewish people, right? It doesn't seem like that's the right way to do it. Okay? That's the question. That's the question that we were left with last time. That's the Gemara, and that's the question. Okay? Why did they not face directly? The point is they were indirectly facing each other. But why not? Why didn't Hashem make it that they should be directly facing each other? Okay? That's the question. So he's gonna, in order to answer this question, he first is gonna digress. He's first going to digress into another Gemara. Gemara and Bracha. So before learning his approach to this Gemara, I want to learn with you the Gemara as it is. Because the Gemara as it is a bit difficult. Okay?
Do you remember the Parsha? There was like a nice picture in here.
This is in Parshas Truma, in Sefer Shmos. Parshas Truma in Sefer Shmos.
Where they were carrying
the ark.
There was a bird or whatever.
Right. Those are the Kruvim, right?
Yeah. Right. I got what you're
saying. Not only when they were carrying, they were there all the time.
They were attached.
Well, they were attached to the cover.
Cover, yeah.
Right. Called the Kaporos. The cover is called the Kaporos.
Wait, so Holies of Holies was inside?
Right, so they were facing the back, the back wall.
But when they carried them on in the desert, I'm talking about.
I guess they were always facing in one direction. So
when
they carried them, they
attached
must have also faced slightly.
Where is
Slightly
this?
apart.
Where is this luchos right now? All those.
If I would know, I would.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so to answer this question, he's gonna go into a Gemara bracha. So before we continue with him, let us learn the Gemara brachas as by itself, without his interpretation. Okay, so we're looking in here. This is on page Lamed Hey Amud Beis. Gemara is on page Lamed Hey Amud Beis. It's the beginning of the 6th parak. The beginning of the 6th parak. Lamed Hey Amud Beis. Page 70 is what
70?
I have. Page 70.
Amud Beis, okay.
Okay, so this is from the 2 dots over here. We're going to start over there. And Gemara is really confusing.
Wait, Lamed Beit?
Lamed Hey Amud Bet. So from the 2 dots, the first 2 dots, where it says the word Rabbi Chanina. Keep going down, keep going, stop. Rabbi Chanina. Yep, that's the one. Okay? So the Gemara starts out, Rabbi Chanina bar Papa, Rami, he asks, Ksiv, it is written, V'lakachti digoni b'itoi, I will take my grain in its time. Meaning this is Hashem saying that the people who are, the Jewish people are not listening to my commandments. So I will take my grain in its time, meaning I will take back my grain. Right? Hashem is telling him, if you're not gonna listen to what I'm saying, I'm gonna take back my grain. Right? That's one pasuk. Uksiv, and it's also written in a different pasuk, a very familiar pasuk to us, V'asafto degonecha, and you will gather your grain. Right? V'asafto degonecha, you will gather your grain. It doesn't say you will gather my grain. It says you will gather your grain. So whose grain is it? Is it God's grain that He chooses sometimes to take back and He chooses sometimes to give to us? Or is it our grain? V'asafta deganecha, you will gather your grain. That's the question.
It's our
Rabbi Chanina, well, the pasuk says we have both. One pasuk says it's my grain. God says it's my grain. Another pasuk says it's your grain. So which one is it? So Loi Kasha says it's not a question. Kan bezman she'Yisrael oisin ritzoyin l'shol makom. One is talking about at the time when the Jews are doing the will of God, right? Oisin ritzoyin l'shol makom. They're doing the will of Hashem. Kan bezman she'ein Yisrael oisin ritzoyin l'shol makom. And over here, the second pasuk is talking about, or really the first pasuk is talking about where the Jews are not doing the will of Hashem. Good? Right? So that's what he's saying. He's saying a very simple, seemingly simple idea. Seemingly, we'll see what, we're going to make it complicated soon. But seemingly simple idea, right? One pasuk says it's Hashem's grain. Another pasuk says it's your grain, it's our grain. So he says very simple. When we don't do the will of Hashem, it's His grain. When we do the will of Hashem, it's our grain. The idea, simply speaking, what's the idea behind it? The idea behind it is that all of the physical well-being that Hashem sends down to the Jewish people is in order that we should be able to do the will of Hashem. Right? If you are doing the will of Hashem, so all of the things of the physical world that is there for you to help to do the will of Hashem, you're making it yours by directing everything, because all the bracha that Hashem is sending you, it becomes your grain because you are kind of a medium. You're a medium for Kavod Shamayim, for bringing out God's holiness, right? So really, it's His. That's what it is. Really, it's His grain. How does it become your grain? When you are part of Him, how do you become part of Him? You're becoming part of Him through doing His will. So then the physical aspects of the world are part of you because you are part of Him.
You're the conductor, the transmitter.
Right. You're the medium.
Pasuk before, he already told, if you're not going to do it, I'll take the grain. So therefore it says, if you're not doing that, it's my grain.
It's my grain, right. Because then it's not right. Because then it can never be, it's not that, it's a punishment. It cannot be your grain because all of the physical world is there as a way for you to include in the service of Hashem. If you're not doing the service of Hashem, so you're certainly not including the physical in the service of Hashem, so it doesn't belong to you. It's not yours. Right? That's the idea here behind this seemingly behind this statement. Okay, so far so good. But now the Gemara brings this famous brisa. Tanu Rabbanan, our rabbis have taught. So, so just forget for a second what we just learned from Rabbi Chanina Bar Papa. Now we're going to a separate independent entity. Tanu Rabbanan, our rabbis have taught. V'asafta de ganecha. It says, and you will gather your grain. First of all, where does it say that you will gather your grain? Where is this possible? You will gather your grain. Where is this possible? No, not over. Besides over here, where do we say it? A couple of times a day.
Wait. What's in Hebrew? How do you say it?
V'asafta de ganecha.
V'asafta de ganecha.
All right. Very good.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah.
In the second paragraph of Shema.
Shema, yeah.
Right? In the second paragraph of Shema. So v'asafta de ganecha. There's a reason why. This is going to be a critical point of discussion. So v'asafta de ganecha, you will gather your grain. Right? That's what the pasuk says. Okay. So ma Talmud loimer. What is it teaching? What is the chiddush over here? The Gemara is asking. Lefi shene'emar, because it says in another pasuk, lo yomush sefer haTorah hazeh mipicha. This sefer haTorah should not cease from your mouth. Okay, lo yomush, and it's a pasuk in Yeshua. Hashem is telling Yeshua really, but lo yomush sefer haTorah hazeh mipicha. This Torah should not cease from your mouth. Okay. So Yochel Dvorim Keksovan. Can it be that the words should be taken literally? Right? Because on one hand it says V'asafta d'ganecha, you will gather your grain. No, meaning you got to go to work. On the other place it says you can't cease for a second from learning Torah. So which one is it? Do I go to work? Or do I sit and learn?
You still have to
right?
do the Isha.
The big question. Well, that's what you say, but 1 second. Let's see what Rabbi Shmuel says.
Okay.
So Rabbi Shmuel says, can I take, so which one is literal, which one is not literal, right? So he says, no. So that's why it's, second, I lost it. Yeah, so Yochel Dvorim Kekosvan. Maybe, so would you think that the words are literally? No, Talmud Loimer, that's why we have the second pasuk, V'asafta de ganecha, and you will gather your grain. What does that mean? Hanheg bohen minhag derech eretz. Practice in them, in the words of Torah, practice in them minhag derech eretz, a way of the land.
So if the way of the land is to...
Right? Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. These are the words of Rabbi Shmuel. So what does that mean? So, right? So let's see Rashi till this point. So, okay, so this is the first opinion. Let's understand what it's saying. This is Rabbi Shmuel. This is Rabbi Shmuel. Dvorim kiksoven shlo yasak b'derech eretz. Can it be literal that you should not be involved in work? Hanheg bohem im divrei Torah minhag derech eretz. You should practice in them minhag derech eretz. Shem tovo lidei tzoyrech habriyos. Because if you're not going to practice the way of the land, and you're not going to go out to work, what's going to happen? You're going to need the briyos. I mean, you're going to need to collect. You're going to need to do this. You're going to be dependent. You're going to be dependent. So soif chalivotel medivrei Torah. In the end, it's going to be much worse. You're going to be mevatel even more from divrei Torah, from the words of Torah, right? So therefore, hanhek behen minhag derech eretz. Again, I'm not sure exactly what it means, but what it seems to be saying is that there is some kind of a minhag derech eretz. You work when it's time for work. You learn when it's time to learn, and that's probably considered that the words of your Torah doesn't cease from your mouth, right? Hashem says, the words of your Torah should not cease from your mouth. But then there's also necessities. So you take care of your necessities. You go back to back to whatever the system is. Let's just go and just as if we didn't learn anything. We don't know anything about anything from besides this Gemara, right? So so that's Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. Okay, so let's see the next. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. So comes Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, and he says, "Afshar, is it possible? Odom chayrush b'shas charisha, that a person will plow at the time of plowing, v'zereh b'shas zriya, then he's going to sow in the time of sowing, v'koitzer b'shas k'tzira, and he's going to harvest at the time of harvesting, v'dosh b'shas disha, and he's going to what's the dash? How do you
plow the ground?
Not plow. It's not toichin, but it's dash. You crush. Whatever it is, you have to process the grain, right? B'shas disha, the time of the processing. V'zereh b'shas haruach, and then you have to winnow when the wind comes, right? So if you say, go follow the way of the land, right? Oh, you're going to follow the way of the land, says Reb Shimon ben Yochai. So the land will suck you in. You're going to have to, now is the time for harvesting. Now is the time for plowing. Oh, now is the time for zereh. A farmer is
too busy.
Is dependent on the seasons and on the needs of his land. Is there. His mind and his body, his whole schedule is on his land. So Torah, what's going to be with the Torah?
Okay.
What's going to be with the Torah? Elo, he says, rather, Bizman Shisrael Oisin Shulmokim, at the time when the Jews are fulfilling the will of God, Malachta Nasis Alidei Acherim. Their labor, their work is done through others. Okay, their work is done through others. Shenemar, as it says, V'om duzorim, strangers will get up, v'rutzanachem, and they will shepherd your sheep. Right? So the pasuk is implying, there's a pasuk in Shayo implying that if you do what's right, you'll have people working for you, to take care of your needs. Okay, that's again, we'll have to figure this out. And when the Jews are not doing the will of Hashem, then they have to do their own work. Shenemar, as it says, and you will gather your grain. That's when you're not fulfilling the will of Hashem. When you get, what does it mean? And you will gather your grain. You will. You're not fulfilling the will of Hashem, so you're going to have to go and be busy with the stuff. Not only that, not only that, the work of others will be done through you. Meaning, not only will you be working, but you won't even be working for yourself. You'll be working for others. Shenamar, as it says in another pasuk, and you shall serve your enemies. Okay, so we have a machloikas here, seemingly again, machloikas, Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, no, you take things literally. God says, Torah should not cease from your lips. That's it. You go do what God says. That's it. You sit, you learn, and God will, and others will get up and will take care of you. That's what Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says. Rabbi Shmuel, the first man, the Omer, says no, it can't be literal. Can't be literal. God says you shouldn't. Right, the Torah should not cease. It also says after the Ganecha, you should collect your grain. So that means time for business and the time for learning. Right, time for physical activities, times for spiritual activities. Okay, so Omer Abai, Abai says, Harbe also Rabbi Shmuel. Many did like Rabbi Shmuel. Also beyodin, you know what? And it worked out for them. Also beyodin means it went up to their hand, meaning it worked out well. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai and like Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, but also beyodin, and it did not work out for them. Okay, so Rabbi is saying that many did like the first man, the Omer, and it worked well, meaning they got their work done and they got their Torah done, right? Many people did like Rabbi Shmuel, and it seems like they didn't get their work done and they didn't get their Torah done either. That's the implication. Though it's not, the language is not clear, but that's what it seems. Also beyond, meaning they weren't successful. Meaning, right? Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, you want success, go learn Torah, your physical needs will be taken care of. Rabbi is saying, many did like you, but you know what? It didn't work out for them. But many did like Rabbi Shmuel, and it did work out for them. Okay?
50-50.
That's what Rabbi is saying. Okay? And we have another Omer Le. This is another, just like a story to support this. Omer Le Rava the Rabbanan, that the Rava, when he was the Rosh Hashiva, he used to tell the rabbis, "B'metusa menaychu, please I beg you, b'yu min Nisan in the days of Nisan, u'b'yu min Tishrei in the days of Tishrei, lo yisechezu kamoya. I don't want to see you. Don't appear before me. Lo yisechezu kamoya. Do not appear before me. So that you should not be busy with your parnasa the entire year. Meaning, in those days, the months of Tishrei and the months of Nisan were a time when you can go out
Plow
work,
around and-
work, take care of your business, and be set for the rest of the year. If you put in the right, the necessary time in Nisan and Tishrei, you will be more available the rest of the year. If you don't put in enough time during Nisan and Tishrei, you're going to realize, you have to take care of this and you take care of that, and so you're going to have the recurring problems, right? So seemingly Rava is saying that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, listen, if you're going to start taking care of everything, it's going to suck you. And Rava is saying, no, there seems to be some more opportune times when you can really devote yourself to your parnosa making needs, take care of it in such a way, set it up so it's smooth, so you can then have peace of mind to really learn. Okay, that's it. That is the whole Gemara. But now, okay, so let's just recap. So we have kind of three pieces in this Gemara. The first piece of Chanina Bar Papa is a separate piece. He wants to know how come in one place it says it's my grain, in another place it says it's your grain. So which one is it? Is it Hashem's grain or is it our grain? And he says if you do Hashem's will, it's his. If it's your grain, if you don't do Hashem's will, it's his grain. Then we have Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel asks a totally different question. How come it says you will gather your grain? In another place you basically should learn. So which one? Should you gather or should you learn? So he says, balance it out. Minhag derech eretz, balance it out. Do a little bit of both. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, no, don't balance nothing out. Sit and learn, and gathering of grain will be taken care of for you. But it says you will take care of grain. That's when you're not sitting and learning. If you're not sitting and learning, then you're going to have to take care of your grain. And furthermore, not only will you have to take care of your grain, you will have to take care of your grain for somebody else. Right? And then finally comes up that's the second piece. And the next piece you have the Sabai and Rava that basically seems to saying, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai is a holy Jew, and it's great, and maybe it worked for him, but many tried to do like him, and it didn't work for them. And Rava told his students basically go out and work in these critical moments so you can have a peace of mind, meaning better to sacrifice, a certain amount of time, now in order to have more peace of mind later. Okay? That's Gemara. Any questions on this Gemara?
Different opinions.
Right, but do you have any questions are there any contradictions in this Gemara?